Okay, so before we start this video, I'm gonna go on a little thing here. If you realize, we do have a new intro that was placed. One of our sponsors actually will no longer be sponsored by this channel. If you do see his sponsorship in the old videos, then yes, you can still be able to check out his page and his and anything of his Instagram setup on, like, any of the social media platforms. But for now on, we will not be sponsoring one person, the Rando 20XX. Reasons being because of certain situations that happen between me and said person, where we end up saying, what, part ways, and understandable to a certain point. So, but EHG would like to wish Rando the best, and of course, we still support his artwork, but still, as said, we would like to go ahead and wish him the best in everything he does in every future. But I'm going into this video because I'm trying to get in a better, like, understanding of this, sort of, and I'm also trying to figure out where I can really stand on this. So if you guys don't know of what's going on, and automatically when you saw the photo, you guys go that, oh snap, we're gonna see another one of these videos, because I've seen a bunch of videos on this. Now, as you hear, there's a lot of things going on in NaughtyDog at the moment, and it's issues of, a major leak of The Last of Us 2 has been left out and brought out into the public, and with that, it actually caused a lot of people to give the actual series a lot of backlash at the moment, and the company a lot of backlash. Excuse me, backlash. Now, it's not just because of the leak, because there is something specific about the leak that kind of makes the actual fans mad. Now, apparently the leak was given out by a supposed employee of NaughtyDog, who gave out the leak because of the fact that there were promises of payment or extended payment, or say is towards the employees during this whole situation of COVID-19 pandemic. Now, because of that, some people have gotten their raise, some people have not gotten their raise, and that's a major story of what's going on with NaughtyDog. Now, as of recently, Sony went ahead and brought out the information that the leaker was actually outside of NaughtyDog and not an employee. Now, with that happening, a lot of people were questioning whether it was true or not. A lot of people were questioning whether the leaker was actually part of NaughtyDog or not part of NaughtyDog. But I'm gonna give my slight opinion on this. Now, when it comes to this situation with me, I'm on the fence on this, because there is something that I kind of don't understand. Well, especially, both situations. I kind of understand where people who are employees of NaughtyDog have not seen the payment that they were promised. I kind of understand the frustration out of it, and the fact that they were promised those payments. Now, with that also, I would kind of see why, like, if somebody who was mad about that would leak it and try to get upset about that. But there's so many issues here of why I'm also just like leaning towards being on NaughtyDog's side with, because when you hear about things like, a leaker just like leaking the information, or leaking like stuff from a video game, you kind of see like, okay, you know what, now this is kind of ridiculous. Like, why would somebody go into like leaking some of the information that is based off of game and that the company has not leaked out? Excuse me. Now, when Sony came out with the info that the leaker was not, or hacker or leaker, whatever they would call it, was not part of NaughtyDog, I was like, okay, you know what? Now this is a little bit of clarity here. Now there's a little bit of ideas here of what they're doing. When now I can see that a leak was leaked out because of someone outside of the company. Now I'm seeing like a lot of things saying that, you know what, people are upset because of the fact that, like, they say that Sony is clearing their names because, they don't want to go ahead and put out the employee, or put out the fact that Naughty Dog is doing all these bad things. Now, if Naughty Dog is doing these things to the employees, the fact that, there is certain reasons because behind COVID-19. Now, a lot of businesses have been going down, have not been able to give employees hours. Even hours have been literally lowered, especially in small businesses or in big businesses, like, especially with like Target, Best Buy, or any other places. Now, a lot of places don't see a lot of hours because of this whole pandemic that's been going on. Now, I try to realize that maybe, hey, I understand it's a lot of people angry at the situation that they're not getting paid what they promised they get paid, but excuse me. But at to another point, here's the thing with, especially not just a big business like Naughty Dog, but a regular business in general during the time of COVID-19. Um, Especially when you're doing things like staying at home working, because a lot of gaming companies are doing that now. Some of the payment cannot be distributed properly or at a certain time, because now, since the pandemic has been closing stores, now physical copies have not been making that much of sales unless they're being mailed over like Amazon, have a mailing at home. Now, digital sales have been seeing a lot. Of course, I understand that, but it's not just the regular digital sales that would give out. Now, it has to be digital and physical copies of the game itself. Now, that losing the fact that, there's not that many physical copies out, that's a lot of money lost to said company. Now, if the company loses money, then the idea of giving out money to an employee is lost, because there's not enough to be do so. Now, it goes in both ways. Like, because I could see that, since Last of Us and, Sony is possibly going to be paying Naughty Dog to like literally have more workers to work, then I can't really understand of why the money is not being. Now, that's also one of the situations that's been going on. But the idea that the leaker was from the company, and that, he, and that Sony went ahead and pointed out, hey, no, it's not someone who works there. Sony and even Naughty Dog stated that it's not someone who works there, and people just call it a lie. Now, that's an issue with me, because they want an answer to where it's coming from. They want an answer to the fact of, hey, where did this leaker come from? Naughty Dog because of disgruntled workers in angry working areas, or did this leaker just leak it out because they wanted to? I'm leaning towards because the leaker wanted to leak it out because they wanted to. Now, why? Because of the fact that that has happened. Like, especially new Pokemon, especially for Borderlands 3, and people have gotten in major trouble for it. Now, as I said, I want to believe that it's because there are disgruntled employees. I want to believe that, maybe they're not getting paid, and if they are not getting paid, Naughty Dog should be able to bring them their payment and give them the right payment that they deserve for working on the project. Now, what it is with Naughty Dog is just that I find it's also because since the leak has come out, the leak had showed the story going into another direction, different direction, that people didn't expect it. I think it's because people wanted it to go into a direction where, things like they thought it would be a good story to them, but then the creators took it to liberty of adding something such as a Christian cult that is against homosexuality, and then more later on with the story that I've seen on the leaks, but I won't leak it out for you guys because I won't go ahead and spoil that. I know some of you probably have seen it already, and with that, I don't really see the issue where the story is going on, except for the except for one point where characters get to a major extent. I would say in the story. Now, my thing about it is because people are kind of upset also at one point because they think that this idea of LGBT or something of a Christianity cult that is evil is also a reason why the story is bad. That doesn't make this story bad. Now, I kind of find it ridiculous that people get upset about this because of the fact that we already know that Ellie was LGBT. Of course, it was gonna lead towards that. Now, the issue with they said, oh, like a Christian cult that is against homosexuality, that's a real thing. It's actually happened before. There has been a Christian cult in gaming as well. There are things like Far Cry 5, where Far Cry 5 was something based off of that. Now, a lot of people even got to a point where they want to boycott this game. Now, I personally don't see the issue with the story. I know there's some stories that will literally lead to something or lead to something unexpected. So I just gonna see for myself because I am gonna buy this game. I am gonna continue buying this game. I do like where the titles were at. I do like Last of Us. I do like Uncharted and stuff like that. And I'm gonna see and give the game a try for myself. I'm not gonna go ahead and lead criticism to where I'm not gonna buy the game shit like automatically because that opinion is absolutely ridiculous. I can go ahead and say something is shit, but then at one point not watch it, not try it, not do something like that. And that's an opinion that doesn't really help out because if you don't see like anything of a movie, like for instance, let's say the brand new Venom movie, let's see Venom 2 comes out, and then you don't see the movie, you say automatically it's crap because they replaced Tom Hardy, and that's just an absolute ridiculous thing to think about. Because at one point, if you want to give constructive criticism, if you want them to change something for something new in the future for you to actually enjoy, you have to understand of where it is. So there is bad and good criticism. Good criticism comes for the fact that it's able to be informational. It helps the actual developer or designer actually want to change for. I'll give you an example. Let's say I didn't like the brand new Kingdom Hearts 3 game, and let's say if I go to the creator, he asks me, "Oh, what do you think about Kingdom Hearts 3?" Oh, okay. Well, I didn't like it too much compared to 2. I felt as much as the combat was not as on par as 2 because I felt like it was more animation based on the things like the actual reactions. It was more of the fact that some of the levels were pretty big, but there wasn't too many of them compared to the other games. But otherwise, like I just want to see a lot more of different combo based moves, different use of like the actual forms, more lands, more worlds to be included in the actual game where we see other Disney characters have more other opportunities like with Disney characters as well. That's proper critique. Now, bad critique is on the same thing. Oh, what do you what like did you like Kingdom Hearts 3? And then somebody's like, "Oh no, I didn't even bother buying it because I saw in one direction of where it was going and like I saw that you guys were not putting that many worlds in. No, I just didn't even buy it." So, that's it. That doesn't really help somebody learn or try to get better to make a like actual product that the consumer works on. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's why I would that's why with me if I want to make a game because I want to plan on making I want to hear constructive criticism of what could be added to make a story better or combat better or what type of graphics people would enjoy. and somebody tells me, oh, you know what, anime is a big thing right now, why don't you make an anime style game with it? Or like for instance, like, oh, you know what, this gameplay has not been used in a while, why don't you bring it back, revive it, that would be something cool, and it gives you some type of critique or some type of advice of it. That would help me learn something about, like, oh, you know what, now because it's based off the horoscopes and everything, or like, or it's based off something of like for instance, how do I put this? Like if somebody says like, oh, it's based off of, like, people being LGBT and you're forcing it down my throat, like, no, I'm not really. I just made people who are LGBT. I made characters who are LGBT. It doesn't have to force things down your throat. There are straight characters. There are this and that. There are characters that are represented. It's just showing more representation. It has nothing to do with forcing down your throat. That's critique I will not take. That's critique I will not understand, nor I will listen to that, because that doesn't help me get better. As just criticizing on my game without even knowing, or even saying, you know what, I'm not gonna buy it because it's gonna have this, and you haven't even played a demo or even a beta for it. That's pretty. That would lead me to tell you, just get out of my building. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's it. That would be embarrassing. Like, especially in me, I would just look at you with just like a very, very unhappy face. That's, but that's how I feel about when it comes to, The Last of Us 2. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm sure as hell I'm gonna see where it goes with it. The combat looks great still. The crafting looks great. The story looks like it's gonna go someplace that is actually very interesting, but it's gonna shock people at the end. Um, as I said, with the whole situation with Naughty Dog, I have a message for, like, on both sides. If Naughty Dog is holding payments, those people do deserve those payments. Those people do deserve, trying to earn their money and earn their dollar. Now, if that's happening, Naughty Dog does owe a lot of people money. If the reason why they're not giving out the money because of the COVID-19 epidemic, and they're giving it later, now I can see that happening. Now, on the other side of this, they come out with information that the leaker is not part of Sony or part of Naughty Dog, and people are going extreme, saying that, oh, they're just trying to cover their ass. Like, it's not like if they didn't tell you where it was, if they decide not to comment, then at one point, what was the point of even trying to find out who the leaker was? What was the point of trying to find out what he or she did? And then the fact that if she had nothing to do with Naughty Dog, then why would they go ahead even bother trying to find out who the leaker is? A lot of people do leak things outside of a company, and just because they want to find out more information from a game that they have and see if it's like, something worth buying. A lot of people do that. I think a lot of leakers should be arrested for this. I don't think leakers should be a thing. I think that if a leak needs to come out, it should be based off of a company doing it, and it's not really fair on that. With people going crazy on the story, just play the game and try it out. Give that out. Don't let a leaker ruin your opportunity because of the fact that, oh, you're looking at it you're looking at it from perspective of, oh, this is where the story is gonna go. Yes, there is so much of what happened in the past. There is so much about certain circumstances in the game of why this happened or that happened. I don't understand why people are upset about that. There is reasons to why these things have happened. There's reasons to why these things have certainly happened. So if you're gonna go to a point where it's like, oh, you know what, they're doing this to the characters or they're messing up the story, look back into the story, try the game first of why it's going to that direction. Yes, it's not gonna help you in understanding the story if you're just gonna make a final actual conclusion of it right on the spot without even knowing what happens before that. So yeah, that makes sense. But in the comments below, let me know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys feel on this. But definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Make sure to subscribe to our moderators and support our sponsors. But this is your boy CrazyMace98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and stay tuned for more videos.